Welcome, brave souls, to a place where history and the paranormal walk hand in hand. Tucked away in the heart of Boston stands the legendary Omni Parker House, a hotel dripping in historic splendor. It's where literary icons once roamed, where Charles Dickens rehearsed A Christmas Carol, and where the past never truly left. Velvet chairs, polished brass, flickering chandeliers on the surface, it feels like stepping into a timeless New England novel. But don't let the elegance fool you. There are stories whispered by bellhops, murmured by guests, and rarely admitted by management. Room 303 is one of them. A room so infamous that it's rarely assigned to guests, and for good reason. They say that at exactly 3 a.m., something awakens behind its closed door. A deep, unsettling presence. The sound of maniacal laughter echoing down empty hallways. The smell of whiskey and cigars with no source. Shadowy figures that vanish when approached. In this video, we'll pull back the curtain on the darkness that lingers inside the Omni Parker House and why room 303 remains one of the most chilling hotel mysteries in America. So grab your flashlight, and don't look behind you. When 26-year-old Emily Wren arrived at the Omni Parker House for a weekend literary conference, she was thrilled. An aspiring novelist and history buff, she requested an authentic room with character. The concierge smiled faintly and handed her the brass key to room 303. Beautiful corner room, he said. Very historic. He didn't mention the strange reports or the fact that it had once been sealed for years after an unexplained death. Emily was enchanted by the room's antique decor. The bed frame was iron, the wallpaper floral and faded, and in the corner stood a full-length mirror that looked like it belonged in a Victorian manor. The room even smelled a little old of cigar smoke, perhaps. She unpacked her things, opened her laptop, and settled in. That evening passed uneventfully. She even wrote a few paragraphs, inspired by the old-world ambience. But at exactly 3 a.m., she sat up in bed shivering. The room had grown cold, not just chilly frigid. She reached for the hotel blanket, but froze mid-motion. A thick scent filled the room, whiskey and cigars. She turned her head. In the mirror across the room, she saw a man. A man who wasn't there. Tall, bearded, with slicked back hair and 19th century attire, he stood behind her reflection, staring directly at her. Emily spun around nothing. The room was empty. But when she looked back at the mirror, the man remained, his image flickering like candlelight, lips moving silently. The next morning, Emily approached the concierge, trying to sound casual. "Who stayed in room 303 before me?" The man behind the desk hesitated. "It's a special room. Most guests don't last more than one night." When pressed, he admitted that staff believe Charles Dickens himself still haunts the hotel. Though he never died there, it's said that his spirit walks the halls where he rehearsed. His passion so strong it left a spiritual imprint. But room 303, that was different. "That room has a darker story," he said. "Back in the early 1900s, a man committed suicide there. Some say he still lingers drunk, angry, confused. Others say the room became a kind of spiritual magnet." He paused. "Some guests claim they see 2 ghosts, Dickens and someone else." Emily was tempted to check out early, but the writer in her was hooked. What if she could write the definitive haunted hotel novel? She stayed. That night, she prepared. She set her phone to record video. She positioned it toward the mirror and lay down, telling herself she wouldn't fall asleep. But exhaustion took over. At 3 a.m., she jolted awake to the sound of heavy footsteps pacing her room. Her phone was dead battery fully drained. The mirror glowed faintly, and smoke filled the air. She sat up, heart pounding, and watched in horror as the mirror fogged from the inside. A handprint pressed against the glass from within. Suddenly, the lights in her room flickered violently, illuminating something standing in the corner. Not the dignified figure from the first night, but another man, disheveled, furious, and dripping wet, as though he had just climbed out of the Charles River. He screamed, but no sound came out. Emily's ears were filled with the roar of wind, and for a moment she couldn't move, paralyzed. The figure lunged, then vanished. In the morning, the cleaning staff avoided her room. One woman, an older housekeeper named Maria, offered a quiet warning. "Do not stay another night," she said. "That room, it's cursed." Emily asked why, and Maria whispered that during renovations in the 1980s, workers found a journal hidden under the floorboards of room 303. It belonged to a man named Henry Mallory, a failed writer who stayed in the hotel in 1907. Depressed, alcoholic, and alone, he believed the ghost of Charles Dickens visited him nightly, mocking his failed career. His last journal entry read, "He paces the hall at 3 a.m. He waits at the mirror. I cannot outright the dead." Henry Mallory jumped from the window on December 23rd. Emily should have left. But now she needed to see the truth for herself. On her third night, she prepared differently. She placed blessed candles by the mirror. She wore a cross. She whispered prayers into the night. And still at 3 o'clock the room changed. This time, the mirror cracked. Hairline fractures split down the glass as the air turned heavy and thick. Two figures now appeared: Charles Dickens pacing calmly near the hallway, and behind Emily, the ghastly figure of Henry Mallory, face twisted in rage and sorrow. He screamed again, but this time she heard it. "Write what I couldn't." The lights exploded. Smoke billowed from the mirror. Emily screamed and fainted. Emily survived. She checked out the next morning, trembling but alive. She never stayed in room 303 again, but she wrote her first best-selling horror novel, The Haunted Hour, 3 a.m. at the Parker House. The hotel never officially acknowledged her experience. But to this day, room 303 remains the most requested and avoided room in the Omni Parker House. If you ever find yourself staying there, remember this. Don't ignore the smell of cigar smoke. Don't trust the mirror. And whatever you do, don't wake up at 3 a.m. Because the ghosts of the Parker House aren't looking for company. They're looking for recognition. Thanks for watching video.